Hello Pisces, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Pisces is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free, doesn't cost anything. If there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. This is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Pisces, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Here I've got a Six of Swords to begin. This is a very good card. This is organized. This is a blueprint for success for you. Okay, I think that you're somebody right now who has a very definite plan. I feel like you're very organized right now. You know, you are the kind of person that will really flesh things out before acting on them. Right? You kind of like to see how all the pieces fit together. You like to be able to see the beginning and the end and the stages in between. You don't really set sail without the maps and the navigation all set up, you know. It's very organized with you right now. But we need to see where this energy is taking you or where it might be useful in your life right now. All right? So we're going to put a few more cards out on the table. I knew it. Seven of Swords to go with that. And right, I mean, this is a truism here, right? Things don't always go according to plan. I got that Seven of Swords right over that Six of Swords. A little bit of a challenge to, you know, to the way that you expect things to go. Got some more air energy here. We have a Two of Pentacles, Five of Wands, Two of Swords. We've got the Eon card, Judgment, Rebirth, Reawakening, the Baptism by Fire here. So this is kind of, we're setting sail into this, it's kind of this, we know we're steering right into a storm, right? A storm of change, a whirlwind of possibilities. Now we have a Three of Swords. We have a Prince of Swords, Two of Wands, and, Princess of Cups. The manifestation of your dreams here, okay? This is a life-changing journey that you're on. And I feel like the air energy, being as prominent as it is really telling us that, you know, we have to prepare. We have to draw out our blueprints. We have to make our plans. We have to be organized. We have to kind of plot our course on the big maps that, you know, navigators use. And then we can't expect it to go anything like that, right? But we have to do that preparatory work. We have to prepare. It seems like that's kind of, we know that we're going to be met with a lot of variables, a lot of unknown factors, right, that are going to make our plans really just kind of moot in a way. But we have to have those plans. It seems like that's a very significant part of this for you, is trying to map out the journey, trying to see the beginning and the end and everything in between, but knowing that the journey is going to be a lot different. The map is not the territory, right? This is very interesting, especially this Eon card. Now, we're going to select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're just going to set it down over here, Tiny Bob Ross, right on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading, okay? And if you have a prediction for that card, go ahead and put it in the comments below. We can do it together. Let's take a look around the room. This is the only major arcana card we have. Big change. That is a fiery doorway. That is like a stargate appears on the ocean in the distance, and we know we're headed toward that. We have an idea of what we're kind of expecting on the other side, but we don't really know what it's going to be. this is the card of change, right? This is the card of a very decisive action. We have to choose to sail into that wormhole or whatever, right? I don't know, have you watched Outer Range? It's an Amazon show. That show is turning out to be very, very good. A big hole on the land, and people are choosing to jump into this hole that takes them through time or whatever it's supposed to be, some kind of a extra dimensional portal or something. But it's a choice that we have to make, and sometimes we just have to leap into that. This is a very decisive action, but I feel like this is you closing the door on something previous. Okay? And we have to end something else so that our new adventure can begin. And this is the portal now between the path of the dove and the path of the serpent. Okay? So there is a lot that is kind of required of us before we enter, and then on the other side, there's going to be a lot that we're going to have to deal with and take responsibility for. So first of all, yes, the Six of Swords, you have a very organized thinking right now, and it seems like we need this because this is our preparation, right? We're preparing for the unknown. How do you do that? What do you take with you? What kind of snacks are we going to need? We've got to do our best, and I think that you, in a very kind of a logical way, but also an intuitive way, figure out to the best of your ability what you need and how this is going to come about. How we get there is maybe a little bit of an easier task, an easier course to plot. But what we do once we're there, that maybe is a little bit unknown. Okay, so we do what we can. And I feel like this gives you a sense of confidence. This gives you a sense of, kind of reassurance that I've prepared, I've planned as much as possible. At least between here and the Eon card, we can plan a little bit. But with the Seven of Swords, now those plans are kind of going a little bit sideways. We have that perfect harmony of the Six, where this is our beautiful, perfect plan. It doesn't quite go that way, right? There are things that you have to decide. There are decisions to make. There are little minor course corrections that you're going to have to implement on the fly. You've got to be able to adapt. We don't just stick to the GPS. It reminds me of that episode of The Office, right, where Michael is driving in the car and the GPS says to take a right turn right now, but that's going to take him right into a lake. But he does it anyway. He's sticking to his plan no matter what the other factors are. No matter what contingencies or what variables come his way, he's making that right turn right when the GPS tells him to. He goes right into the lake. It's hilarious. This is kind of about us wanting to stick to the plan and saying, yeah, it says I should make a right turn right now, but I know I'm going to end up in a lake, and I'm pretty sure that's not where I want to go. So we have to do these, and it's a very silly example, right? But it illustrates the point. We have to be able to adapt on the fly and improvise. Yeah. And that's, I think, what this is about. And there's going to be a real need for that, I think, primarily before we get to this life-changing moment, this life-changing experience. But the Two of Pentacles back here, I feel like this is something that you've already decided on. You've already put this in motion, and now it's just a matter of getting here, to getting to this moment where it's kind of that big transition is made from the past to the future. Okay, so this is something I think that you've already set in motion, something that you've already kind of chosen, or you've done the first things, or you've already signed up for the class. Now we're just kind of preparing for the day that the classes begin or whatever, right? Maybe it's some event. Maybe it's a Spartan race or some kind of a big move, a big job. I don't know. Whatever it might be, but the ball's already rolling here. Okay. The above and below you here, I guess we should maybe stick with the air energy for now. We'll go to the fire in a moment. The fire is going to be very important, especially when we get to the path of the serpent. The two of the Two of Swords here at the top is reminding you that there's no doubt. That needs to enter your mind. Okay. And sometimes we have a Two of Swords and a Two of Pentacles together. These two cards kind of say, well, you know, we've made this big decision and we kind of have to stick to it. It's kind of a combination that says once you've made this decision, there's really no going back on it. And in order to realize that, or to kind of obey that law, we don't want to overthink it. Okay? This is a card really about trust, trusting yourself. Okay? Because we see the two swords here and they're clashing. It's a sword fight, right? Looks like it to me. But this is saying that, look, we don't need to be engaged in that sword fight, wrestling with our own mind, going back and forth, being indecisive, being uncertain, doubting, all this stuff. What we do is we trust in that lunar energy at the very top of the card, that crescent moon. And that is really meant to be intuition, that psychic kind of gnosis, that knowledge, that understanding, that perception on the higher plane, you know. So we make the decision and we trust in it. My alarm's going off. We make that decision and we trust in it. And we don't really, it's almost like we don't give it another thought, you know? We just say, this is where I'm sailing. This is the destination that I have in mind. I'm going toward this fiery doorway, and that's it. So once we've made that decision, then we basically just get to the planning and the improvising, and we're sailing away. And the Five of Wands is very important. This is kind of the gas pedal, right? This is the motivation that you feel. This is your striving. Okay? This is Saturn in Leo. Okay? So this is kind of your confidence. This is your pride. This is your ambition. This is your assertiveness. This is that driving energy. This is you moving forward. And we're trying to be restrained. We're trying to be disciplined about it. We're not getting in the boat and just going wild, you know, like just pushing the throttle all the way forward, or you know, whatever kind of boat you have. And just speeding as fast as we can toward this fiery doorway. We're trying to be smart and thoughtful and careful. We're trying to control our enthusiasm a little bit, but we're trying to harness this fiery energy in a way that gives us the endurance. It's not a sprint. It's more of a marathon than a sprint, but this is something that we don't want to be overzealous, because then we're going to try to speed right through all of these variables and contingencies, all these storms that might be waiting for us on the sea, and we're not going to, I don't think, we're not going to have a pleasant time getting here. So we have to really regulate this zeal, this enthusiasm. This is the card of conflict, right? This is a card called strife. This is all about fighting, right? This is knowing when to fight and when to disengage, right? Fight or flight, really, is this card. And sometimes we've got to bring the fight. Sometimes we have to approach challenges head on. Sometimes we have to just give it a little more gas. Other times we've got to pull back. We've got to go around the storm. We've got to be a little bit more strategic. You have a lot of air energy here, and all of this fire kind of underneath it, that's heating up all this air, you know. And I think, it's kind of a hot air balloon kind of energy, where we heat up the mind here, and a mind that is fueled by this ambition and by this assertiveness and this confidence. I think that's a mind that's very much ready to ascend, to rise, to tackle the problems. But too much of that fire, and then the balloon kind of gets carried away. We get caught in some kind of a crosswind, and we lose control, right? So it has to be well regulated. I know we've gone from a boat now to a hot air balloon, but we're traveling either way, right? And what we're going toward is that Eon card. And that Eon card, let's do a Divine Doorway confirmation card for affirmation card, oracle card, whatever you want to call it. The divine doorways. I'm just going to try to pick one randomly. And it says, silent skill. I challenge you to unpack your mind. In meditation's grace, the soul can unwind. Breathe in, breathe out, let go of doubt. That's Two of Swords, right? Breathe in, breathe out, let go of doubt. And that's the silent skill. So it's kind of, there comes a point where we just have to kind of feel our way through the waters. You know, it's just, we have to kind of trust in ourselves and on our minds and in our bodies and in our hearts that we know how to navigate this, that I know how to control the ship or the hot air balloon, whatever it is. That you kind of know how to do it, and we don't have to get the textbook out and start flipping through pages. What am I supposed to do? We just kind of, we trust in things a little bit. Yeah. And, you know, it's, I think it's just as much skill as it is art. Yeah, and talent, and grace. But getting to this fiery doorway, that's a beautiful doorway too. Getting here, I think, is really going to be life changing. It's really the portal between the past and the future. Okay. And I'm trying to get a sense of what the past is. I think the past is probably very much a history of plans that we've formulated and then perhaps abandoned when things didn't go right. It's kind of maybe a lot of false starts. Sometimes we have this, we have this idea of what we want to do, and then we start to do it, and then things start going wrong, and we just wasn't meant for me. At that time, it just didn't work out. There's been a lot of times where I've tried to do different things, even technical things, even just things on the phone, you know, or this process, right, that you may have worked out. And you start on the first couple of steps of that process. But if something doesn't go quite right, or you make a mistake, or there's just some kind of weird anomaly, especially in like computer programming or something like this, you kind of have to wipe it clean and start again. You know, you want everything to go step by step in the perfect, it's like programming a computer or whatever. Everything has to be done in a certain process, certain step-by-step manner. And if there's anything weird that happens during any of those steps, you got to just wipe it clean. I don't know if anybody's ever worked on computers. I used to do the rooting of the Android phones, you know, and back in the day, you know, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, actually, when those Android phones first started coming out and everybody was rooting them and doing all this kind of programming and stuff, it was a process, right? And you had to do things step by step by step, the way you would load the apps and the way you would type in the commands. And if anything weird happened during any of those steps, it wasn't going to turn out right. So you might as well just abandon it and start over. Wipe the phone clean, start again by loading everything step by step by step. And you don't know why these things happen. You know, it's just a random thing that there's just a little bug, something happens, something freezes, there's a little glitch, the screen flashes or something. Nope, you go right back to the beginning. I kind of feel as if what's happening in the past for you is something like that, where we are very much expecting things to go according to plan, and when there's any little hiccup, we take that as a sign, you know. But I think now we're realizing that, hey, I'm on the boat and I'm sailing and I know there's going to be a hiccup or a glitch somewhere. I'm going to just keep going, because maybe we've been through this many, many times. That could be the Serpent of the Two of Pentacles here, showing that things are just kind of repeating and we're stuck in this a little bit of a loop. But now this time, I think you're as prepared as you can be. You're going to try to do it step by step. You know there's going to be hiccups and glitches and all of these things, but you're just going to stick to it. And that's part of this Five of Wands, that we're just, and the Two of Swords, like we talked about. We're not changing course. We're not We're not going back to the safe harbor. This is it. It's now or never. Life-changing decision. And I don't know exactly what you're doing, but it takes us over here to the path of the serpent. And the first thing we see, of course, is the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords is your memory. The Three of Swords is Saturn now. We have Saturn here and Saturn here, both Saturn cards. Saturn in Libra here. And I feel, especially when we have this here, I feel like there is, I feel like it has to do with your relationships. I feel like this future is perhaps a shift toward quality relationships. It's toward, how to phrase this? I wanted to say intolerance, right? But I feel like this is really you being very strict with yourself about what you allow into your life, who you allow into your life, So when I say intolerance, I mean you're not putting up with anybody who is disrespectful, who is taking advantage of you, who does not have well wishes for you, right? Anybody that means you any kind of harm or means to not support you in your endeavors. I feel like this is really a I have forgiven but I have not forgotten kind of energy for you. Yeah. The Three of Swords is very often about our memories. It's about us not forgetting things. Sometimes this is to our own detriment. Sometimes this is a good thing. Sometimes I don't want to forget how people treated me. I don't want to forget the things that I'd been through. We're closing the door on the past. We're moving toward the future. It could very much be talking about your friends, your family, your romantic relationships, work relationships, just generally the way we relate to people. We see more air energy now in the position of your environment. And this is double air. Okay, this is the Prince of Swords, air on air. And this might be those people that say one thing but mean another. This might be talking about those kind of double standards. Might be talking about people who are a little bit two-faced. Okay, I feel like this is kind of a very, very wise mistrust of people. Okay, I think something had happened. I think that we have an experience with people not being so authentic or honest with us. And now I think there is a very keen recognition of that in your life. That we're making this kind of decision. And maybe this whole journey through this doorway is not really a destination, but more of a change of perspective. A change of attitude that just says, hey, I can see people for what they are, and I'm not putting up with anybody who does not have my best interest at heart. Not in a way that we expect everybody to do everything for us or to always be helping us or giving to us. We're not just taking. But if somebody is smiling in your face, but then they have something negative to say about you behind your back, we don't want that kind of energy. Okay? We want people who authentically are going to support our dreams. Or at the very least, celebrate with us when we have a win, be there for us when we are struggling. We don't expect everybody, we're not the center of everybody else's world, right? But we're not going to be putting up with people who are disrespectful or in any way are draining our energy or our confidence. Because, Two of Wands, we said the fire was very important. We want people who are going to help fuel our ambitions. And the difficult thing now, I think, is to realize that a lot of the time we are kind of alone in life. Okay? And we all have friends and family members and this sort of thing. But everybody is the center of their own universe. All right? So if anybody had to choose between their own happiness and your happiness, most people would choose their own happiness. Right? Very few people, I think, that would sacrifice their own happiness for a friend or a family member. That sounds harsh, I know, but that's why this card is in the position of the difficulty. Okay? And the difficulty, I think, is the ability to, I was going to say the ability to cut people out of our lives, but I don't feel like that is even necessarily it. It's kind of the ability to leave people to their own devices, to accept the fact that everybody is a point of consciousness. You know, in this vast ocean of consciousness, we are all somewhat separate individuals. Yeah. And so ultimately, this is a solo trip for you, even though you have friends and family that are, you know, with you. But this is, I think that this is really a decision for you to kind of streamline your life. You know, I think that we are allowing people to kind of fall away from our lives a little bit. You know, I think as we get older, we tend to minimize in a way, right? And I think it's because we become a little bit more, cognizant of our own path. We become a little bit more aware of who we are and what we're about and what we're supposed to be doing. We become aware kind of the realities of life. You know, so the Two of Wands really here is two people who are struggling for control of something. You know, and there might be something to this, and we might be talking about one other person here for you. Because with all this air energy, and of course with the Prince of Swords and the position of the environment, there might be one particular air sign person in your life, and we might be realizing that, you know, they've got their own path, their own journey. They're the leader, they're the captain of their own ship, as are you. Okay? And I think it's incumbent upon all of us to pursue our dreams. This is the Princess of Cups. This is you manifesting your dreams. And I think that this is the life-changing experience. Whatever is going on here, I think that you are pursuing your happiness, your dreams, your goals, your hopes, your wishes, your aspirations. And we're not arguing to convince anybody to come with us. We are not allowing anybody else to steer our boat for us, nor are we expecting anybody else to be on board. Those people that are on board, we cherish them, we love them. If you don't want to be on my boat, that's okay, right? But we're not losing any time, we're not losing any sleep over it. And, you know, we're going our separate ways if we need to. And I think that's a real shift, and that's a real mature usage of your fire energy, your will, your intention. The Princess of Cups is the beginning of your dreams manifesting. I want to look at the mystery card now. I want to see if we get more water energy. Let's see what results from that Princess of Cups. Let's see what are the dreams that are manifesting for you. I'd like to see some more water energy here. Let's see what we have. Oh yeah, that's some water energy. A Nine of Cups, huh? Okay, we'll take it. Nine of Cups is you pursuing your happiness. And that's what we're all doing. Excuse me. We're all the captain of our own boat. And we're pursuing those things in life, those achievements, those activities, those experiences, those relationships that bring us happiness and fulfillment and satisfaction. This isn't to say that, you know, we have to be selfish. I think a lot of your happiness is wrapped up in your loved ones, right? Doing things with your loved ones and being with your people and celebrating your people and watching your people be happy, right? But I think we have to be mature enough to realize who aren't our people. those energies in our life that are slowing the ship down. It's like a bunch of anchors are attached to the ship. Well, it's going to be hard to get where we're going. So sometimes we've got to cut those anchors away. Okay? And I think the Three of Swords is exactly that. I think that this card is really about us understanding what our anchors are and cutting them away, so that we can achieve the happiness, the fulfillment, the bliss that we want in life. We got all those cups now on the mantle behind us. And this is the ongoing experience of achievement and satisfaction. This is living a life that is meaningful to you. It's not about any one thing you're accomplishing. It's about living a life that is authentic to you. This is very good. We're going to do an extended reading too. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top. There's one down below. New readings for Pisces every Thursday and Sunday, 6 a.m. Chicago time. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free, does not cost you anything. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.